live here in harmony. So that is the beauty of Varanasi. Now, few people they compare Banaras with a city like Venice. Now, Venice and Banaras is entirely different. They have their building and monuments. Now, heritage is basically your term, so we also use that, but we have modified that term. That Banaras is basically a living heritage. Means we have building monuments and their occupants are also here. So, like we are here at this institution, great institution, what we call it as Akhada Goswami Tulsidas, where Goswami Tulsidas came here somewhere more than 450 years ago. He was actually residing in main city, but the philosophy which he adopted, people were not comfortable. And people from his community, they told that you just get lost, otherwise we are not going to allow you to stay here. So he has faced different problems. So actually he moved to the southern part of Banaras, and this was actually the last line of development of Kashi. And from here onwards, you must have visited BHU also. So these were basically the part of a very dense forest. So Kashi, another name has been given Anandakandi, forest of this. The whole city was surrounded by a very dense forest. So this was the last line of development. He came here, and I will just tell you his saying that Hoot Kaho or Hoot Kaho means they are, carefully just observe, he has used all the complementary words. Hoot Kaho or Hoot Kaho means even if you are good or bad. Rajput Kaho Julhar Kaho means either you treat me as king or you treat me as weaver. Kaho ki beti se, I have no son and daughter to marry with your family. Kaho ki beti se beta ho gaya, kaho ki jaat gaya. So I am not going to destroy your cultural tradition. I have got nothing to do with that. I am praising Bhagwan Ram, who happened to be the focal point and the main energy center from where we have been derived accordingly. So I pray that Almighty God, and for me everybody is equal and I am not uncomfortable to anybody. So that was his saying. And last line, what he says, Maam ke khaido masjid mein sukho, means although I am from the Hindu community, I will beg and eat if you not allow me to eat. And if you not offer me a suitable space, better I will reside in a mosque. I can care. So that was his thought, and this place belongs to that tradition, and we are actually 14th or 15th generation. We are continuing here. Our village is some 150 kilometers away from this place, but we have active relation with our place, and we are handling this institution. Now this place, Akhada means a wrestling place. So Goswami has established Akhada. So people used to ask that he has written Ramcharitmanas and he was an intellectual. Why he promoted Akhada? Now what he meant to say why he established Akhada? That physically a person should be very strong. Otherwise, his faculties will not accordingly work and he will not be in a position to help others. So that was his concept. So that Akhada tradition is still continuing. We also happen to be the wrestlers from that Akhada, and our family members were great scholar of Sanskrit, and from my father's time, and my grandfather was a big musician. He was a very celebrated musician, and you must be aware of Pandit Ravi Shankar. He was very close to my grandfather. They were from the same age, although my grandfather was elder. And next to him, my father, he became a technologist. So how technology came to our generation, I don't know. But I think this was actually the capacity building, that if the traditions operates aloof, not in the main domain, then you continue with your tradition. If you are not able to share with the society, if you are not able to communicate with the society, then it will be lost. Simply it will be lost. So I think that was the reason Hanumanji and Goswami Tulsidas must have blessed us, our family, so that we can communicate with the most modern world. So these are the things. Now, I will just come to the actual point that Kashi is such a beautiful place, that what is important about Kashi, we have three important components here. One is the space of Kashi, and this is the dwelling space of Shivji. Second component is Shivji, and third component is Mother Ganges. Now, Mother Ganges is not a simple river. I will just put here a quote of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who says that Ganga is a silken thread which binds the country together. Now, Ganga is basically a medium of integration because we have so many variations. If you move from extreme north to extreme south, from east to west, you have differentiations of culture, tradition, so many things. So Ganga actually is the main deity which attracts people all over the globe. Now the type of respect Ganga enjoys, I have never seen any river could enjoy. Now what is importance about Ganga? Ganga starts from Gangotri and terminates at Ganga Sagar. Now she traverses a distance of 25 kilometers. Now beauty of Ganga is that the moment it makes an entry into this great city, now we are right now residing at the upstream region of Ganga. From here Ganga makes an entry into this city and she moves in a crescent shape. Now crescent shape means it is a shape of a moon which Shivji is having on his forehead. So that is that shape, and due to Shivji, Ganga ji has actually turned her way and crossed Varanasi, and this means segments of Ganga 5 kilometers long, right from, we have two tributaries here for Ganga. One at extreme south is Asi and at extreme north is Varuna. So from these are two rivers, although the dimensions are very small, but they exist as on date also. So Varuna and Asi has given the name Varanasi due to these two tributaries. Now this 5 kilometer stretch is treated to be most sacred stretch in 25 kilometers length of Ganga. Now this tangential approach of Ganga with the city of Banaras, we have Pakka Ghat at the west bank, and if you visit this city through boats or steamer, whatever it is, you can see the beauty of the city. Now the real curse of Ganga is here, the western bank of the river. The reason being that this is a seaward city and sewerage system was laid some 100 years ago by Britishers. Now during that time they were not having any treatment mechanism. So what they have done, they have put a transceiver, means all the sewage were collected and it was poured into the river in the downstream where there was no bathing and interaction with the river, a place close to Rajghat. So the river was still clean. Now what is our problem? That our first religious path starts from Ganga, and first prayer which we offer, that is in Ganga, and then all the services of the temple is dependent on Ganga. Now if this is the case, now what is the designated use of Ganga? We have again a saying, Daras Paras Majjan or Bana, Harai Paap Ka Vedpura. Means either you can have darshan of Ganga from a distant place. If you observe Ganga from here, you will get the benefit. Or few people go and gently touch Ganga water and they bring it on their forehead. This is another mechanism. Daras Paras Majjan means taking a holy dip. Now here the problem begins. Now if you want to take a holy dip, few people come and sip also Ganga water. Now sipping Ganga water means the quality of river water should be a potable water. Now since my father was a technocrat and his department was also civil engineering and his expertise was in hydraulics. So he was expert in that and he was also a regular weather. So he discussed this problem with the Prime Minister of India, Mrs. MISHRA Gandhi at that time, that this is the curse of Ganga, and if publicly if I speak out that Ganga is now being, the health of Ganga has severely deteriorated, people will start accusing, hey, why you are saying Ganga is polluted now, Ganga can never be polluted. Now with the scientific temperament, it was tested And what it was found that 150 million liters per day was delivered directly into the river. That is the sewage which was generated from Varanasi. Now, that become visible. So Mrs. Gandhi told my father, okay, Manji, you can just go to your place and start the basic work. We will also help you out through the government. Now, in the meantime, Mrs. Gandhi was assassinated in the year 1984, but she compiled all the reports and her son Rajiv Gandhi inaugurated a big project, Ganga Action Plan, in the year 1986 when he became the Prime Minister. And the same book which was and project report which was prepared by Mrs. Gandhi, he directly implemented. Now, why he has chosen Banaras as the key city? The reason being that if we were successful in that project, the same would be replicated to other river cities. That was his objective. So the project execution started in the year 1986, and the money which was allocated was told that money has been exhausted, everything has been spent. So in 1993, government declared Ganga is now clean, and because the money has been spent, that was their control. Now my father immediately reacted to that. What nonsense you people are telling. The health of the river has further deteriorated. What you are telling? Then they asked what proof you can say, how dare you have told like that, and you are opposing the government. So in the meantime, we have established here a laboratory of our Sankat Mochan Foundation on the banks of the river, where continuously we were monitoring the river health. Now that results were very alarming. We shared those results and they kept quiet. Then they asked, you people will always be chasing the government or you are going to help us out. My father told, we are all technocrats, definitely we will be very happy to help you out. So then they asked, what is the problem? So he started telling that the technology which you have chosen was basically based on activated sludge process. Now that technology doesn't have a capability of removing fecal coliform bacteria. Now if you are not able to remove fecal coliform bacteria, no problem, means cleaning is nonsense, I must say. Now, what standards they have fixed, that fecal coliform count per 100 ml should be less than 500, then we can treat Ganga as class B river, means the river will be fit for bathing. DOD level, that is biochemical oxygen demand, should be less than 3 mg per liter for class B river classification. And dissolved oxygen should be more than 5 mg per liter so that the aquatic life would survive. So these were the standards which were very carefully coined by the media houses and the government, that at the most what we can do, we can make Ganga as class B river, means the river will be only fit for bathing. Now if you want, now designated use, as I have told you, it is entirely different. The river is used for sipping also. Sipping means it should be of potable water quality. Now, what is the reality? We have a present database, I will just share it with you, that dissolved oxygen has never been a problem. Only where the tributaries, the river, small rivers which are being used as now sewage channels, they are delivering directly the sewage, raw sewage into the river, and they have installed so many STPs. In the first phase, they have installed a capacity of 102 MLD. Now, in second phase, now the see, if the shop has been defamed, means you are not doing good work. So what they have done, they have changed their signboard of the shop. Now the same work is now being designated by Namami Gange project. It is a government project. Now 3 more STPs were installed in Banaras. One with a capacity of 120, one with a capacity of 140, and one at 50. And none of the STPs are working, and they claim that the river is clean. Now here I would like to mention that the whole stretch of the river, that is 2525 kilometers, is not polluted. It is polluted wherever we have a seaward city, like you you can say Kanpur, Allahabad, Varanasi, Patna, Kolkata. So these are the cities which are polluting the river very severely, and Kanpur has got a different type of character because that is an industrial city, and we have very strict environmental laws. If they are not treating their influence, they will be asked to shut down. So as for domestic sewage, we don't have any rules and regulation. You cannot tell the municipalities from tomorrow onwards you should not use flush toilet. That you cannot do. The only thing you can do, and it has been very clearly defined in Ganga Action Plan, that this project will be successful if you are able to address the three components of the project. Means you should carefully intercept all the point sources of pollution. Now there were some 32 point sources which were delivering raw sewage into the river. Second one, you transport it to the appropriate place, means diversion of the sewer. So unless you are able to physically intercept it, you cannot divert it. Now, third one is, it should be treated to a level that it becomes innocuous for use. That innocuous term has been used. Innocuous means fecal coliform content should be zero. And even if you are doing that, you reuse that water, don't discharge it into the river. Now, the problem is that we have a present data which our lab has conducted a test on 14/7/22. It's a recent data. Now, I will just share you what is the health of the river. DO is 7.2, much above 5, so aquatic life will survive. Except at 2 points where Nagwa admixes with the river, and second one is the Varuna at extreme north. The Varuna is having a higher dimension where DO level is 2.6, but it is at a specific place. Now in the whole river stretch, DO level is maintained at 7.2 milligram per liter, it is safe. Good. Now VOD level, which should be less than 3 milligram per liter, at Nagwa it is 38 milligram per liter. And at Varuna it is 54 milligram per liter. Now right now you are sitting at TULSIGHAT. I will share the data of TULSIGHAT. It is 67,000 per 100. Now you tell that if it is Class B river, it should be less than 500, and data is 67,000. Now at Nagwa, where Ganga makes an entry into this city, this land city rather I must say, the fecal coliform count is 31 million per 100. And where the river leaves the city, that is at extreme north, Varuna confluence, it is 64 million per 100. So it is far beyond your reach, and I have at different forums I have told you, if you don't proceed systematically in a scientific way, you are not going to get success if you keep on doing work for another 500, 600 years. Now I am not simply telling, and neither I am telling a story, we are also technocrats, and my father was given a project for southern part of Banaras, and the project was based on American patented technology, University of Berkeley, and you must be knowing there was a very renowned professor, Professor Oswald. He actually worked with our foundation, and now he is no more. His student Belly Bean is still there. He is right now he is holding the patent. We have helped the government, and US Embassy has helped us a lot in our effort because we don't have funds for that. So they have helped us in bringing the expertise and visiting people from here to see the active plants at USA. So everything was shown. Government was convinced also, but I think the red tapeism is not allowing to do the right thing because they are treating Ganga as a very milky cow. Means if the problem is finished, from where you are going to fund. Now in the name of Ganga, wherever you ask, you have a lot of funding, and they are doing work, and they will keep on doing like this. So arbitrary work would not happen, and whatever system which we have proposed, we have prepared the DPR, submitted to the government. Government said it's okay, you reduce the dimension. Now see, they have asked us that you prepare a treatment plant for 37 MMT. For which part? Southern part of Banaras. Means whatever Assi river was discharging into the river, it will be diverted to the STP. Now it was again against the gravity which we opposed. Then government told, no, no, we are bent upon, we do it like this, you have to do it. Then I asked my father, you carefully examine what is the real discharge. Why 37 mld? They are so specific. So must be their agencies must have told them. Otherwise 37 is not a magic number. So when we physically measured, in spite of taking all the pains, it came around 65 to 66 mm. Now it was actually a government trap. See, they have also executed a project, still it is not working. See, the sewage is still flowing. So if you are going to create a STP of under capacity, means now what should be the engineering approach? You can extrapolate the database and see what is going to be the projected discharge after 20-25 years, because implementing a project also will take say 4 to 5 years time. By that time again the discharge will increase. So we have taken all that care and we told the government, still they told that time you will reduce the capacity. Now still that report that DPR is with the government and some other agency has been asked to repeat the older technology which doesn't have the capability of removing fecal coliform bacteria. So this is the type of approach our government agencies are adopting, and this is not because why it is important. Banaras is treated to be a very sacred place, and I will just quote that slow. Namami Gange is the project name. So actually this is the project name itself is religiously toned in a way that we are just doing for the sake of the people. And remember, there are at most 50 to 60,000 people who regularly take bath in Ganga and they offer their first prayer. So, and for them, Ganga is medium of life. They cannot imagine to stay here in Kashi if Ganga is not there. So, at least for the sake of those people, you should protect Ganga. And if you do this good work, the same model will be replicated to other river cities. And recently I visited London, I have seen the condition of Thames River. And it was moving in a very pathetic situation some 15-20 years ago. Now they have done a lot of work. Still I don't think it is having a drinking water quality, but still the river is better than what it is. Now our condition is deteriorating day by day. Now our designated use is entirely different. Now Ganga, Namami Gange, Taupad Pankajam, Sura Surajvanti Divya Rupam, Bhuktim Cha Muktim Cha Dadaj Nittam Bhavanusaret Sadhavana. Now the meaning is that she is the deity who is played by God, demons and devils also. So that is a normal platform. Now whatever worldly pleasure which we enjoy, it is by virtue of Ganga. We are deliberating on the issue, we are discussing different things, it is by virtue of Ganga. And Muktim, now this shape means the space of Kashi is treated as the place of salvation, and it is basically a doorway between the earth and the heaven. Now whosoever dies in Kashi, it is understood that he will just move out of this birth and death cycle. Means a person means Kashyam Marana Mukti. Whosoever dies in Kashi, he will not again come back to this earth. He will be integrated to Almighty God. So this is the type of river we are having, and with affection we never presume Ganga as a river. We treat her as our mother. Means you can go and share your pleasure, you can go and share your sufferings, you can go and share your problem, and see means whatever petition which you offer to Ganga, that is being resolved, that is our feeling, and that we have immense faith in Ganga. So I think this river needs a lot of care, not for the river only, but she carries a lot of meaning, she has connectivity, she enjoys a lot of respect among people. So I think this problem has to be addressed, and we have not left the hope since we are from a traditional family. And my father, since he has started, so we are in the form of relay race. He passed away in the year 2013. Since then, I am continuing with his chair and with his commitment. Although I am from electronics engineering, I have worked along with him some 15 or 20 years. So I have a good background of civil engineering also. So that's why they tell me that you are having a very deadly combination. So you people cannot fool me, and I can tell you the way, I can provide you the solution. So these are the things. So, and second thing, what I would like to emphasize here, that we have a term, Ganga Jamuni Tahjeeb. Means we have a big population of Muslim here, and means second population if you Hindus, they are Muslims. Now we have a good chunk here, and we comfortably we coexist here, and we share so many things. But due to political reasons, what they are doing, it is everybody knows about that. I don't want to go into the depth. But this city, what we say, it is really a seat of learning, academic and culture prevails here, and I think that is the dimension which is not a visible now. Now, what our present government is doing.